This is the Making Waves Mindset Show with your hosts, Richard Biase
and Dave Moskowitz. Learn from our journey as we share the ups and downs
of being your own boss. Welcome, everyone, to another fine edition of the Making Waves Mindset Show.
Yes, welcome, where we come from the white north, where it's cold. I gotta talk about it.
What's wrong, Dave? Don't you see?
We're for the Americans wearing the beanie, and for the Canadians wearing the toque. We gotta see, this show, we usually start off by talking about following us and stuff, but we definitely got to address the toque and slash beanie right off the bat.
Is here in the Great White North.
We need to, so we're going to start a GoFundMe page so that Richard can afford some heating for his residence. So we're just kidding. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for following us. Thanks for your subscription on every platform. If you are following us by now, you know what we're doing. You know the show. If you're new to our show, this is where we dream bigger, make waves, and take action, and share our journey, share our story, and share our information with guests and our personal advice and our personal
ups and downs.
Yeah, I was looking for that word, ups and downs.
This is where Dave and I have taken our recent experience of escaping the 9-to-5 and talking about the up and down hills that come with being a business owner. It's all about the mindset. That's the whole premise of the show, is to have leading edge conversations about our experiences, and from those who are either behind us in the transition, in the middle with us, or decades ahead as business owners. And if you have not listened to any of the other episodes, ignore episode 1. As you progress through the episodes, episode 2 is kind of not as good with audio quality, but as you progress through, you'll hear changes and advances in our own recordings. We're now on video, but more importantly, there are some amazing people, Dave, that we have to give credit to on the show, from Joe Mancini to Dustin to Tamara Trotman. All these people have so much experience, and you can all learn from that. Their mindset has been tremendous and has helped Dave and I have those organic conversations with everyone. So welcome to the tribe.
Yes.
And follow
your vibe
along.
is your tribe.
Your vibe is your tribe. Dustin came up with that one. We got to get Dustin back on. I feel like there's so much to talk about with Dustin.
I am good friends with Dustin. We go for breakfast every now and then. Just went for a quick breakfast and coffee with him the other day. Such an inspirational guy. He's got a lot on the go. He is. He's very alive. Yes. We will link, we should tag him in this show because we're talking about him plus everyone else. But one thing we plan on doing this year is having a follow-up with everyone that we met with last year, and returning to their progress and returning to their journey and seeing how their journey has gone forward. So we've already done that once. We've already done that twice this year with 2 people, Tamara Trotman and Nicole Salmon. So go back and listen to those episodes. Great follow-up with them. Great progress in their personal journey about dreaming bigger and them making waves in their own industries and taking action to ensure that they are progressing from year to year to year. So go back to those episodes, have a listen, enjoy them. They're great episodes, they're great information, and you could see their progression. So our plan this year is to revisit some of those guests that we've already had on, follow through with them, and as well share our journey and move forward. So we've talked about our journey a lot. We've talked about, in our last episode, we talked about my journey, how it's progressed. We sort of want to dive into Richard.
Oh my gosh.
Richard and his beanie.
But this is the Making Waves toque. This is the Making Waves toque, Dave. I'm glad I still have hair.
Yeah.
But sometimes I need to keep this hair warm,
the one thing I wanted to talk about, you were saying don't listen to episode 1. Go back and do listen to episode 1 if you are a listener, right? Yeah. And it will show you our own specific journey as it relates to this show itself and how we've progressed. We started on just doing podcasts, just doing audio. We moved forward to then a Zoom platform, which we figured out was not the best case scenario for podcasting. We've then punched forward into a different platform, and we're now on video. The progression just in alone with this show has come tenfold.
But you know what, Dave? It's all from we dreamt of something.
Yes.
And we made waves on it, and we just kept taking action. Like every day on the show that we do editing and we do recording, and it's like, what can we learn from here? What's going on in the industry? How can we, and listen, we have a lot more to learn. But I have to give you credit for at least saying that, because normally everyone's like, wow, that was a terrible episode,
exactly.
But they're, they want to be funny. They know Dave and our humor. But yeah, you're right. Like, we've changed our formatting, how we used to interview, how we used to speak with our guests, and the platform is so different on the delivery for the show, where now I think we have a pretty good refined product, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, go take a listen. And
listen to it. There's even though the audio might not be the best, even though it is a longer episode than we normally do now, we've refined it, and we're continuing to refine our product here of giving advice and sharing our journey. But it will show you some progression into how you evolve as a company, how you evolve as a product. And every business does this, right? You look at brands, major brands out there, they always, after a certain amount of time, they change. We've done exponentially, hint, hint, we've done it a lot quicker than most businesses, but we've evolved and we've progressed so that it better helps and assists our listeners. So we've learned to do that. Even I talk about, even if you were to listen to the first few episodes, probably first 20 episodes, the way we talk, the way we speak when we're on microphone, it was a lot different than it is now. I personally was not as comfortable as I am now.
I tell Dave he has to embrace the microphone. You got to get your voice into it. You have to, you can't be monotone, people.
Right.
When you do this stuff, maybe that's why they said I had a face for radio. You just have to talk into the mic and use it. And that for me is a strength, but we've learned from each other on what we can do to improve. And it's, if you want to be, welcome to the Making Waves show.
Right.
Boring.
We're learning. And that's part of making waves and dreaming bigger. So
listen, if we didn't start, we would, God knows what we'd still be doing, Dave. We'd be meeting up at community service events and policing and going, wow.
Yeah. I was actually having this talk the other day with someone that I used to work with, saying, where would I have been if I didn't go down the path that I'm now? Would I still have been with that organization? Would I have changed my role? Would I have done, who knows? What if? But this is the direction we've chosen to go with our lives, and this is the direction we're going.
No regrets.
No regrets, none. And going uphill from here. Up. Let's dive into your journey.
Oh my gosh, Dave, where do we start? There's so much to discuss. Well, let's talk about the real estate business, and then we'll go into book authoring. Then we'll go into franchising, and then we'll go into SAM. Look at these big terms and things and stuff. Anyways, well, listen, let's start with real estate. So, I'm a real estate investor. We started a few years before I left policing. I highly encourage any of you as a first responder, and even for those who are in the 9-to-5, build up a real estate portfolio now. Do not wait. Stop listening to the noise of interest rates are through the roof and that. This is the cheapest time to be purchasing real estate. Real estate historically in over 50 years has continually gone up. Yes, the market drops, but guess what, Dave? It's an asset and it continues to grow. So don't be caught with your pants down. Go be buying some property. Do what you can. And so anyways, that's where things started, real estate. So the past year, aside from having buy and holds, rent to owns, and other stuff like that, we completed our first 2 flips. And let me tell you, that has been a journey. And some of the previous recordings, I spoke about the challenges, especially as the market changed unexpectedly and trying to even secure trades, and people that all of a sudden were willing to commit, as I spoke to you previously, then would just, I can't commit, and they're gone. So we had some growing pains in that department. And one of the other things too is people would be like, what do you mean you've never seen the property? You didn't go check it out? I'm like, nope. I literally was at the property for a second time the other day.
Yeah.
Like, never saw it before, went once briefly when it was being renovated, and then I went back, and I was like, oh, look at this.
Yeah, there's investors out there who invest millions and millions and millions of dollars on properties, and who will never see it, have no interest in seeing it.
You got it.
Will never step foot even in the country that it's in.
But that's how it is. You don't need to live where you invest.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. They all think they have to be there. They have to be their own property manager. I'm like, no, you go pay a property manager. Of course, things make sense and scalability, right? So anyways, so some of the challenges with this particular flip, obviously the market changed. This was not in the direction when we purchased, and I'll talk about one specific. And so things changed. So our strategy when you flip is you come in, you renovate the property, and you sell it.
Right.
We've had to pivot. Real estate is such a beautiful tool, a beautiful vehicle for you to drive in, because you can pivot and change your strategy. And so we decided that, hey, we can't sell it. We're going to be at a huge loss. Let's rent it. And let's try to get an investor in there. So I'll do a shameless plug. If somebody wants to get into real estate, and they can take title, but you don't need a lot to put down, reach out to me. Have your stuff in order, T4s, T4As, if you're experienced or you want to get into it, good opportunity. But I am looking for 2 investors for 2 properties. We pivoted. So what we did is we're about to sign a lease for somebody who's going to come in, which is incredible. We're still looking for an investor so we can get ourselves off title and refocus on other things. But going through the last year, with the market being as crazy as it was to it just slowing right down, has been an experience. And Dave, financially, I'm not going to lie, this one property kind of was bleeding us out.
Wow.
It was insane. And we had to go, how are we going to stop the bleed? Another plug. How are we going to stop the bleed? Because it was getting out of control. And we just know that real estate is an asset. We own the property. So why would we let it go? Let's hold on to it. Let's get somebody in there. And even that took a change. That took such a long time, Dave, to find someone to lease the property. This right now is a rental market, but if you can go into real estate and buy.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, we were getting panicked. We kept dropping the lease amount per month, and we're still going to be at a loss leasing this property. It's just supply and demand, but people are very hesitant to act. It is what it is, but we're stopping the bleed. So we have found someone. I think we're going to have the lease signed tomorrow.
Amazing.
And so we're really pumped about that. So that has been a huge occupying part of our business journey. We want to continue investing in real estate. So that's going to happen here. It's also going to happen in the US. So if you're someone who would like to invest in real estate, you maybe don't know what to do. Maybe you have the capital and you want to find somebody who you can trust and who can work on building that portfolio with you. Reach out to me. Let me know. I'll be happy to help. I'm not an expert in everything, but I'm always willing.
Hold on. What do you mean?
I'm Dave. Did you not know we're not experts?
You're not an expert.
None of us are experts, Dave. We all can learn from taking action and doing something, right? And if I don't, Dave, we've always said, if we don't know the answer, we'll get you the answer.
That's right.
We'll figure it out.
We'll go to people who have done it before us. We'll
Our
go to
networks are huge.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing I just want to highlight. And the reason I stopped you on that is because
it was good. I liked it. And we used your voice, Dave. We went right into the microphone.
I don't want anyone to come out to the show and say, "Oh, I followed exactly what Richard and Dave did, and I'm not making money, or I'm not doing this." Don't look at us as experts in what we're doing. This is our journey. This is things that we're doing to share with others in efforts to get better in their lives, just like we are getting better in our lives. So just wanted to mention that before someone comes back in our comments saying, "What do you guys know?" Or
listen, we're doing something that, for those of you who are critical, aren't doing.
Yep.
If you wanted to do it, you would have done it. You're not. Dave and I are. It is what it is. Suck it up. But more importantly, doing the show has exploded our network too. And I was just telling you, I can't remember if it was on our last recording or off the air. we're having people even from the US reach out to me. They're connecting on all the platforms, and they just see that we are becoming that authoritative figure. And because we are putting ourselves out there, which nobody wants to do,
Right.
and we're taking time every week to put out quality episodes and recordings and our name and our brand, people align with that. And so we're starting to get people inquire in the Miami area,
Nice.
who want to do things. So I'm really excited to see maybe the opportunity could be there to do stuff. So if you want to get into multifamily, you want to do some fix and flips, I want to see where that potential partnership goes and what you'd like to do and what I'm open to exploring. And like, listen, if you want to open a storage facility, count me in. Like,
Yeah.
there are so many
That's where
things.
you know what? It is
Yeah.
and it is on my list of things to invest in the future, is to purchase a large piece of property, build a storage facility, and
Dave, we'll
for
do it together.
RVs. If you are
Yes.
listening to this and you have a piece of property and you want us to build on a location, reach out to us. And if we can put the capital together, let's do it. This is a big industry.
It's huge.
And for those of you who don't know about these, it is such a big industry. Storage of RVs in the United States, storage of your goods, stuff like that, storage industry. It's on my list.
Even
It's
just
been on my list
vacation
of
for
things.
RVs.
Yeah.
We have a neighbor who's huge into RVing, and they call it fifth wheeling out in the West. But
Yeah.
he was kind of like, we can't. There's just so many people with RVs and fifth wheels that there's not enough places to accommodate them on vacations and for travel
Yeah.
and touring. And I proposed a solution to his problem. I said, listen, I have this knowledge. Why don't we do something?
Mhm.
And you can kind of see the light going off in this conversation. It's like, well, yeah, we can obtain a property, we can find out what we need to do and service and make sure all the services are there for your gray water, your black water, and clean water and all this stuff, and make
Mhm.
it. But Dave, yeah, there's just, it's endless opportunities. And yeah, so anyways, I'm on a side tangent
Yes.
or a rant or a spur track, whatever you want to call it. But
Spurt track. I haven't heard that one.
spur track, yeah. But
That's a good one.
there's just so many things. So if somebody wants to do something, let me know. Canada, US, Costa Rica. My God. Oh my God. Dave,
I do know.
let's take a step back with the beanie here. You and I love the heat. We do not like the cold. So my pressure, like, look at me. I'm turning like Snow White. I've lost my tan after spending.
My body is built for cold. It is built for cold. It literally is. I have excess fat that surrounds my body that gives me warmth. Big boned. I am built for cold. My heart does not go to the cold.
No.
I hate winter. I despise winter. I don't enjoy it. People are like, embrace the winter, go for winter sports, enjoy no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. I'll go in the winter and have a coffee for 10, 15 minutes in a nice warm fire. Fine. That's awesome. It's great. It's romantic. I love it. It's cozy. Put me into a beach, nice weather any day.
This is the beauty of being, essentially, Dave, we're like digital nomads. And for those who don't know what it is, we basically can run our businesses from our computer anywhere in the world. And Dave spoke about that. You were doing it in Costa Rica, and just like, Dave, imagine the investments that we could do in Costa Rica together.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I got to take a step back, and it's tying into heat and excitement. So we spent some time in the US in beautiful Florida. I was all over the US as well. And the amount of people, especially from Latin America, that you run into, God bless, I love Latin Americans, just incredible. We want to see the snow. I want to know what the snow is like. I want
until they're actually here in it.
And I'm telling them, no. But hey, if you want my coats and boots, take them. Go. They just, yeah. And I get it. They're growing up in places where it's just warm and hot all the time, right? And they just they don't know yet, but I tell them, listen, it's great for a look, but you want to be in the heat. So anyways, I'm gonna
there, and to go on, keep that side spur going for a second. There are people out there who have, good friends of ours and / family live in California, and they are in the heat 24/7, right? That's all they have is heat. And it does rain there every now and then, but majority of the time it's really, really hot in California. So they actually crave once a year or twice a year going to
Colorado.
Colorado, cold weather and snow, and they want to see that. But when you ask them, would you ever move? The answer is no.
You know what's crazy in the US? So we have family all over the US, and the ones in Arizona are like, yeah, we could just do a day trip and we'll be in the snow.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're going from, you
Yeah.
know, crazy temperatures and you'll be in the heat and then you'll be in the snow in the same day. What? It's like, yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
do. You know, weekend ski trip there and there. It's just like,
I I I love the weather in California. And California, in terms of not just Southern California, in terms of all of California. I love the weather. California is one of those places that whether you like it or not, you cannot say that it's bad weather in California because you can literally certain times a year literally. I use that word again. I gotta stop using that
literally.
literally.
I'm gonna get that little kid and put him
Yeah.
on here with his YouTube video going literally.
I catch myself using that word and I hate it. I got myself out of saying busy. I don't say busy anymore, so I've stopped that. So I need to do that with literally. But you can wake up in the morning certain times a year in California. You can drive a couple hours, go skiing in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
drive a couple hours,
Hit the winery.
surfing, hit the winery, and then go surfing in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That is the California weather.
Yeah.
How can you go wrong with that?
So I was in California this summer, and when I was expecting warm beaches, that's where you lost me, Dave. The beaches were ice
Okay, fine,
cold.
fine.
They were ice
Well,
cold.
but it's because of the part of the ocean. So yes,
Correct.
you don't have warm waters like you do in Costa Rica, Mexico, stuff like
Mm-mm.
that, or Florida,
Mm-mm.
but you do have nice beaches, great beaches. Sand's nice. It's hot on the beach. It's just the water is
Of
cooler.
course, of course. And so this was a shock for me until I was talking to my business partners who live there and fellow colleagues and stuff. And they're
Yeah,
like, no, the beaches here ice cold all year round, all the time. But in
yeah,
my head, I'm thinking California, it's hot, it's magical, you know.
yeah.
And
No,
then
it's just
you
it's fed from a cold water. So how could it ever get warm?
or you
It's
show up to
deep
San
too.
Francisco, Dave, and it's Fog City. You can't even see the golden, what is it, the Golden State
Gold,
Bridge, the golden,
Gold Gate Bridge.
yeah, Golden Gate Bridge, ice cold, and temperature drops down to literally freezing
It was
within the
just
span
time
of
of
a
year.
drive.
Time of year,
It
right?
was whatever. I'm on a whole rant, but listen, the US was great. I want to invest. I want to do things down there. So if there's people who are looking to partner with like-minded, reach out. So
Yes.
that's kind of the wheel. So the flipping and all this stuff has taken a lot of that time, and it's been an incredible experience and a lot to learn from. And so kind of on the shows of the ups and the downs. The downs are, it's like, yeah, real estate, there's risks to everything you do, but I'm doing something that most people won't do. And the hugest risk was, okay, we're bleeding like uncontrollably here because nobody wants to buy. We
Right.
have a product that was supposed to be in a plan for this way. We had reserves set up that are now literally being liquidated, and we're trying to pivot to do this, but we can't find people to rent,
Hmm.
to lease it, right? But anyways, you stay positive,
Yep.
you meditate on it,
Yep.
and things come. So we fingers crossed, we're gonna have something signed off by tomorrow.
Good.
So real estate's been a huge occupier for us,
Mhm.
and it ties into our next strategy of spending more time in the heat.
Right.
So my wife and I love the heat. We love the heat, hot, hot, hot. That's where we want to be. We have family in the hottest states of the US. So we thought, why don't we look at a franchise in the United States and something that we can take our transferable skills that can be vertically integrated to a future real estate investment business there as well. And a few episodes back, we spoke about finding that. We found a restoration company that deals with water damage, fire, mold, smoke, and anything you can name in regards to restoration for commercial and residential properties. And we found that company, that franchise, and what a joy it's been to be a part of an incredible family. Now the doors have not officially opened. We've had some growing pains, mainly due to some how can I say, some name changes that need to take place for the business entities, not on our end, but it's just stuff you have to grow with, and some closing of the homes that we have to deal with up here. We need to move the portfolio around. So a few things have kind of slowed us down a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. The lesson being learned here is, listen, instead of diving into the most recent hurricanes and the crazy stuff, Dave, you and I were speaking about this the other day, we have
Yeah.
a chance to learn about how we're going to come up with, mitigation plans, and how we're
Mhm.
going to help Floridians and people around the US deal with these catastrophic events. And instead of going in there, opening your doors with limited equipment, vehicles, and employees and
Yeah.
going, holy shit, we just exploded capacity and we're not even in a position to help the people that need it the most. So we decided that Florida would be the best place. And we are so pumped. We are so excited. Kind of what Dave spoke about in, if you want to call it part one of this episode of our, up to date journey. Dave spoke about the journey of franchising and that yes, you have supports in certain ways, but you really are that decision maker. You are
Yeah.
having to execute and take action on key things to get the doors open. The one thing that Dave and I, that we don't have to do, that Dave has to, we don't need a brick and mortar.
Right.
Our business can run out of the backs of our vehicles that we'll
Mhm.
have and the equipment in them. And until we scale up, we may decide at that point, yeah, we need a warehouse. We can do
Right.
that. But that's the beauty, Dave, that ties into a real estate business is then
Mhm.
we can acquire commercial property. We can
Nice.
sublet out our remaining warehouse space
Right.
to other industries.
Perfect.
So you see how everything just kind of comes together. And then we're going to be working with Canadian snowbirds and property managers as they deal with all of these things: the water damage, the snow, the rain, mold, and anything that comes up to these properties while snowbirds are back in Canada.
Right.
So it's completely vertically integrating to our real estate investment business that will
Perfect.
also be opening there. And it's just like everything comes together. Steve, do you remember a few episodes back we were kind of talking where some people can perceive my decision making as procrastination, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's just no, it's just you need to take a step back. Things fall in together. They just fall into play. This is one of those things. We didn't want to rush on anything.
Yeah. It's
So
important.
we're pumped. It's important. You have to take a step back. Don't rush in anything. And Dave even said that on part one of our journey update. Dave goes, I would drive myself crazy if we couldn't secure these properties one after the other after the other. The worry, it's the same thing. It's like, just take a step back,
Yep.
look at everything from the high level, and things will come together. And they did. They
Yep.
did.
Yep.
So that is what we're working on as well.
Awesome.
And
That's good. Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun.
and the one thing, and shout out to Floridians right now
Of
going through a
course.
very, very hard time, and we feel bad for them, and you want to help out as much as and the one thing about the business that you've chosen, it's one of those businesses that, yes, you're gonna profit on, yes, you're gonna make a profit, yes,
Yeah.
you're in it to make money, but it's actually a service that you're going
Yeah.
to be providing people who are really
Yeah.
going to need it. And
Yeah.
times like this that are unfortunate for people are the times that your business is going to be busy, but it's in efforts to bring them back to normalcy. It's in efforts to ensure that their homes get fixed, and
Yeah.
their businesses get refurbished and stuff like that. And that's what's an amazing portion, and which actually ties back into who you are as a person in relation to your career and what you did for the last X amount
That's
of
a good
years,
point,
that
Dave.
you were able to help people. And that's one thing that I look at is, and the reason why I wanted to get into business, because I want to help people.
Yeah.
And why we ended up choosing an industry where we can help people, not only service them as our clients,
Yeah.
but help people grow in terms of employment. And I want to help people and grow in their jobs and make them financially stable and give people employment and make people grow in the industries that they want to be in.
Yeah.
And that's something that ties back into what we did for our whole careers,
Yeah.
is
No,
helping people.
so
and
true.
and that's what you've chosen. You've chosen a career, you've chosen a franchise that you're able to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah, financial benefit, of course, obviously there's going to be a financial benefit, and you chose that to make money, but in essence, what's it going to do? It's helping people at their worst. There's my
100%.
dog, my dog in the background who wants some help.
He's a part of the show too.
That's right.
But Dave, what's funny is when we were chatting too, it's that need to help. It's just in our blood.
Yeah.
Like, so we have this massive hurricane taking place. It's going right through the US, right up the coast of the Carolinas. And one of the things I loved most in policing was, okay, helping people. But more importantly was people would come to you because you had the knowledge, you were that calm voice, you were the reassuring voice, you were that neutral party that could come up with a plan. And as we were on those big calls on mitigating and how we were going to team up with other owners and help Floridians, it was like I felt a part of that culture of teamwork that was kind of really missing in policing. That's a whole other thing I can talk about.
Yeah.
But there's no silos in business ownership. There's no silos, especially in franchising. And we spoke about that on your recording,
Yeah.
because I felt so valued being on the calls, and we got the maps, we got the plans, and they're taking input. And it's like, you're not a number.
Right.
You're a member of the team. We are people helping people. And that's how we view our purchase of the franchise and our goals and aspirations. We're helping people in need, whether it's a commercial or residential damage or loss. And we have, like, Dave, the summer has been incredible. You know, the networking, the people from California to Vegas to Tennessee to, my gosh, all points in between. It's been incredible. It's been amazing. So,
and once your business is open, it's going to thrive, right?
It's
you're now making the plan, and regardless of how long it's taking, maybe a bit longer than you thought originally, but once you have that in place, you'll flourish. You'll open that business, and you'll have everything ready to go.
100%. And so with all this fun stuff, there's also the things on the side. You go, well, is there enough time in the day, Dave? Like, do we have enough time? Like, we always think that, right?
There never is.
And I remember back Tamara, when we had her on for update, she's like, Richard, like, how's your book going? Where's your book stuff? Right. And I'm like, I'm ashamed to say the book's not been published yet, but I've been working with publishers, and there's a financial cost to getting this stuff going as well. And you need to find the right publisher to make it happen. But we're that much closer. So I've also been working on a children's book. I've been brain mapping all types of other books. It's like, I just need to focus on a few other things right now before I start pivoting to these other things. So, for those of you out there, that might even help to kind of brain dump. You see on social media, photo dump, just clear the phone. You got to do that to your brain. And when you become the authoritative figure in the seat that Dave and I are sitting in, and we can share about our past life and all the things we've learned, put it in a book. Brain dump all that stuff and share it. And we kind of do that through this podcast. And I think we talked about this too. Like, our show, the Making Waves Mindset show, is now a living and breathing digital book that we then can publish on paper. And we got to have those conversations. That's going to work into our business plan for the show and what we want to do, because it's going to be a great mindset for people that want to actually read the version. And anyway, so this is so much fun stuff going on. Where do I start? Also, the update. We were at a sales and marketing entrepreneurial event recently as well, and hearing from Jim Quick. Jim Quick is the guy about brain and memories. We had Steve Sims, incredible person who just says, you just have to take action. It was something, he has a book, and I have to grab it. It was kind of what you were telling me earlier. It's just, don't stop at the no. It's just do it. Who cares? What are you waiting for? Just go, right? Like, don't worry about what other people think. Take action on it. And then in between all that is just kind of coaching and mentoring people. I've had a lot of people still reach out about policing and questions and business things, which you and I do naturally. So between real estate, the franchise, the investing, the networking, the collaboration, there's a lot on the plate, but I love it. And I don't think there'll ever be a time when you're going to feel like, oh, there'll be a day I can just sleep in and not have to worry and be on the beach. I think Jordan Peterson always said, if that's your vision and goal in life, is to sit solely on a beach to drink margaritas all day long, there's something wrong with you, man. You have to have the stress of everyday ongoing challenges. You are the problem solver in business every day. And I have to even remind myself that too. You're the one that needs to make the decisions. Not saying that I can't. What I'm saying is, don't look for that opportunity when you're going to go, oh, there's no problems today, I don't need to deal with anything. You're that person. You need to be taking charge in every aspect and making very key decisions. Definitely. So, that's been the fun stuff. So
that's an awesome update. And you are going to excel. You are going to move forward. And because you've decided to take action in relation to this, and the one things that you're learning that we can share with everyone is just the ups and downs of that journey, and the realistic time expectations that things take place. And as people, I think we we're in a generation now, because of social media, because of technology, because of the way things are going, that we want instant, 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 instant. And in reality, nothing is instant. It takes time. It takes time to build wealth. It takes time to grow businesses. It takes time to make changes. And the realism of it is, it doesn't take days. It takes weeks, takes months, takes years. And just understanding that as long as you're moving forward and not taking steps back all the time, then you'll eventually get to your goal. And it just takes time. Just takes time. That's all it does. Time heals, time moves forward, time just continues. And as long as you're pushing, 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 you'll get there.
You know what's funny, Dave? I kind of had this epiphany moment a few months back where I think maybe even on the show, I'd have to go back, and I think I need to change my position on it. Is there's no such thing as work-life balance. That's my opinion. I'm quickly realizing, well over a year into being free of the 9 to 5, there is no work-life balance. You need to be grinding and hustling and pushing every day. But the beauty of it, Dave, is when you have the opportunities in the evening and you want to move something to the day and the night, you have the flexibility to do it. But you're always going and understanding that you will make time for things, but don't expect that. I know it might sound terrible and I might crush a few people right now, but it's not realistic. And that's what I'm realizing. But we make it work. We accept the challenges that are here, and we're not afraid of coming up with the solutions for the problems that we face every day and what we need to do for these opportunities.
Wait. I'm going to disagree with you for a sec.
Go ahead.
What do you mean there's no work life balance? Let's explain that a little more, because
Yes.
I'll disagree with you wholeheartedly on this.
Okay. So where
Explain
I'm
it a little more for our listeners.
so there are people who think that let's say in the 9 to 5, I'm only working 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and at 5 o'clock I'm done. Nobody's
Right.
going to be bothering me in the evenings. Nobody's going to be reaching out to me on the weekends.
Yeah.
But the nature of our business and what we're doing is these are evenings, weekends, 24 hours, and holidays. And I'm finding that when there are a lot of things to get done in the day, they're going to spill over into the evening and afternoon hours. They're going to spill on the holidays and the
But
weekends, which they have been.
okay, but that is still work-life balance, because it is now you're in a different type of industry. You're not in the 9 to 5 where you can just shut it off. You're not in You still have work-life balance. It's just a different balance in terms of the traditional work-life balance.
Sure. Okay. If you want to look at it from the standpoint of you're no longer working the 9 to 5,
That's right.
and sure.
Because work-life balance is different in terms of, and you did say it. You said you don't have work-life balance. I would suggest you do have work-life balance. It's just in a different type of schedule. If you want, you can set up a meeting at 2 in the afternoon instead of 9 in the morning. Whereas when you're
Fair
working
enough.
for a 9 to 5, you have no choices but to set your meetings up throughout that work schedule, because the work schedule is set by somebody else,
Correct.
and you do have that balance. I can set up a meeting, and I was having this discussion the other day with someone. When I wake up and look at my schedule for the week and plan my schedule for the week or the month, I can make appointments at 8 in the morning, or I can make appointments at 2 in the afternoon, or
Correct.
10 at night. I can have those meetings. So it is work-life balance. It's just a different type of scheduling work-life balance. And yes, you have to sometimes sacrifice your afternoons, weekends, nights, and even maybe on a holiday, you have to
Mhm.
make those sacrifices. But I don't look at that as a sacrifice. I don't look at that as not having that work-life balance. I look at it as a bonus, because I'm able to do that.
I
Does
think
that make sense what I'm saying?
it makes sense. I think we need to also preface it by, especially those who want to leave, you're already working the 9 to 5. So your evenings and weekends are going to be dedicated on these entrepreneurial ambitions, right?
Right.
We look at, Nicole when she was starting her Knick-Knack Knits.
Yeah.
These things were being done in her after hours while juggling a family, all this fun stuff that comes with being an adult transitioning to these new roles. And you're going to quickly realize that, holy shit, I have so much that's going on. It's go, go, go. How am I going to balance? Okay, once you make the official transition, cut the cord with the 9 to 5, you're on your own. Fair enough. But there are some times where there are people that want to go, hey, let's go for dinner. Let's go do this. I'm like, no, I'm focusing on this. The juices are going right now. I need to be dedicated to this. This is the sacrifice I'm making. I think the better question is, what social media has done, Dave, is we always talk about it's the I'm in my Ferrari at the winery racing through the California, mountainside, right? But on the other side, it's like, yeah, but there's also those entrepreneurs who, while you're doing that, are getting that much more ahead of you, and your competition is going to grow because you're spending time on things that you're kind of wasting your time on. Get in your business, focus. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit more. I know I'm stubborn. I've been told that, but maybe I'm just a little bit more stubborn in terms of I don't want to let that time go, because it's so important to the business to get these things moving. Well, my competition is going, haha, he's on his motorcycle having cigars, not paying attention. We got a whole team working right now and getting shit moving.
Yeah, but there's different aspects into where you get to those time periods where you can sit back and have that cigar on the beach, and
Yeah,
there's times where you can do that. You're just in a phase now, and that's the way I look at it. You're in a building phase, and it's just
fair
like
enough. I'll give you that.
yeah, and it's still work-life balance. But you're in a building phase where you need to make those sacrifices. For example, let's take work out of it. Let's put it into the fitness and health industry.
Yep.
You want to lose weight, there's sacrifices you can't sit down and eat a whole large pizza. You can't sit down and eat a whole
Have you had my homemade whole large pizza?
no, not yet. But you
Sorry.
can't, right? You gotta make sacrifices,
Of course.
and you could be at a birthday party and say, "You know what? I'm not having birthday cake." And someone's gonna look at it and say, "You're fucking nuts for not having birthday cake." Well, no, but if I have that birthday cake,
Especially
that
ice
means
cream cake, Dave.
yeah, but if you
Push
have that
fully
birthday
on.
cake, you're gonna put on a pound, right? So it's the same thing. You have the balance. You just need to make the sacrifice at the beginning. So I don't agree with because you're entrepreneur and this is what I don't want people to be scared of is the fact that right now you have it easy working 9 to 5. You have that ability to say, I'm going to work, I'm working my 9 to 5, I'm coming home and I have all the things that I want to do and I could de-stress going into business for yourself, going into entrepreneurship, going into a different um, form of income is going to provide you the freedom that you want to do and give you that work life balance down the road.
I think okay, also to your point though, Dave, if you can find ways to create that passive income, the Robert Kiyosaki's, you have your franchise up and running, you investing in real estate, you have e-commerce stores going. There are things that can assist in your independence from being there every day that will free up the time. But I also think there's another part of it because when you're not there every day focusing on the business, I think is where again your competition's coming in. And I am also a big believer if your employees don't see you're putting the same effort in, they're going to quickly switch off their focus on what's going on. And I'm in alignment with what you're saying is that yes, you have the flexibility to really create your scheduling, your to-do list, your blocking time. But there's just a part of me that's like, just know you take your foot off the pedal, you slow down. You gotta remain focused, build up maybe to that spot where you then can be villa hopping in the Maldives.
Yeah, definitely,
There
definitely.
you
It's
go.
gonna
Okay.
yeah, and it's gonna take some time. But
It's gonna take time.
ultimately, we don't have to agree, me and you, in terms
No.
of this specific thing. But it's a different way of looking at it that
Yeah.
I look at it and I say I have the ability to decide today I'm gonna wake up and go to the gym first, and then I'm gonna have my meetings
Correct.
instead of having my meetings and then going to the gym later on
Yes.
in the day. And that's what I look at that as a bonus in terms of work life balance because if someone says to me and Natalie says to me today I want to have the weekend off. Okay, well, if I can, if I don't have anything urgent, I'll schedule everything on the next
Yeah.
day, right? And that to me is
And I'll
work
give you
life
that.
balance.
I'll give you that. I can honestly say since resigning, focusing on myself as independent people has come twofold, right? Like we have really put a lot of effort into the gym, dieting, our mental health, our wellness, and doing things that we need to do. Like I just find it's crazy that so many people continue to go to the 9 to 5 where it's such a cancerous environment. You're being micromanaged, you're shortening your lifespan, you're giving yourself all these health issues. Um, but at the same time, if you went into business, yes, you can have those same stresses, but you still have more opportunity to create that lifestyle that can relieve that health burden that you're going to put on yourself. At the same time, focusing on your business and scheduling things to make it work for you. And I'll give you that. Like, yes, I know every morning I'm going to be doing my exercises with the exception of Sundays and stuff like that to make it happen. But just know, evenings, weekends, stuff's on the go. The juices flow.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we were doing our...
But that's about making sacrifices, and we talked about that. You're not going to have the traditional 9 to 5 schedule. You're not going to have that ability to sit on the couch and just do nothing and watch TV. You have to make some sacrifices. But in the future, you might have that time back at you, and you might have that ability to sit on the couch and watch Netflix for 100%. A couple hours, right?
100%. Well, I think that's a wrap. I think
awesome.
It's a little long, but we got some juicy things out there, an update. Now, if anybody has questions and they want to know what Dave and I have been hurtling over and trying to problem solve, and you want to hear more, let us know. Reach out to us. As always, we want to hear from you. And if you do reach out, let us know where you heard it and what the context was, so we know if it was one of the podcasts or an Instagram connection and an episode topic, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you. And if we don't have the answer, Dave, what do we do?
We will find out.
And we'll find out.
Normally, we don't just find out. We'll bring them on as a guest.
Even better, which we've done. We've done many times already. Dave, where can our listeners find you?
Instagram, David A. Moskowitz, or on LinkedIn.
Perfect. And you can find
or come down to Stretch Lab.
What's the address, Dave? Do you want to pump the address?
410 Adelaide Street, Spadina and Adelaide. Come on down. Come get a stretch. We're going to be doing some pop-ups, but yeah, come on down.
I'm excited. This is going to be...
It is. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. Where are we going? Yes, you can
find
yours truly, Instagram and LinkedIn, Richard Biase. Until next time, everyone, continue to dream bigger, make waves, and
take action.
Awesome. We'll talk to you on our next episode.
Have a good day.